Hi everybody, and welcome to Run Tall with Tim. Right now I'm packing my run bag. I'm getting ready to head out to my local state park to get my workout in. It is week 5 of a 15-week half marathon training program using Garmin Coach. I'm going to be running a progression run. I packed a couple of different pairs of running shoes, both the Hoka Clifton 7s as well as the Hoka Speed Goat 3s, along with my other gear and essentials that I'm going to need. I've got my bag packed. I'm headed out the door. So, hey, let's go have some fun. Hey everybody, welcome to Run Tall with Tim. I'm Tim, and today is the second workout for week 5 of our 15-week half marathon training program using Garmin Coach. It's a progression run today. It's Tuesday. It's beautiful out today. It's about, it started out a little cold. It was in the low 30s when I woke up, but it's about 49 degrees right now, so it's going to be a great day for a run. I'm going to start with a 5-minute jog to warm up, and then I'm going to run 20 minutes at my easy run pace, which is a 9:14 to a 10:14 minute mile. And then I'm going to pick up the pace for that progression piece, and I'm going to run 10 minutes at a 7:14 to a 7:34 minute mile. And then I'm going to end the workout with a 5-minute jog to cool down. Today I'm going to be wearing the Hoka Clifton 7s. Now I did pack a pair of trail shoes because I was going to try to run the trails, but it's been raining quite a bit here the last few days, and I did a little bit of an assessment of the trails as I pulled into the park, and they're just way too muddy for me to try to do a progression run in today. So it's going to be the Clifton 7s. I'm going to stick primarily to the pavement as well as some hard packed dirt, but I'm going to avoid the more rustic trails. So I'll let you know how it goes. So I'm in my 5-minute jog to warm up. My plan for today, I'm going to try to get as close to that 9:14 minute mile pace, so kind of on the upper end of it. So I'm really trying to focus on my paces. It's going to be a real challenge. The half marathon that I'm going to be doing in June, primarily because it's going to be a trail. And I've run a little bit of those trails so far, and they are full of hills. So trying to maintain, probably an 8-minute mile pace to complete it at the time that I'm hoping to is going to be a real challenge. So, having said that, I'm going to continue on with my warm-up, and then we'll get right into the run. So about halfway through the 20 minutes, I just glanced down at my watch, said I was going a little faster than I should be, so I'm going to try to do a little bit better at pacing myself to get into that 9:14 minute mile. I'm not sure exactly how much faster I was going, but my watch, when I glanced down at it, looked like it was running about a 9-minute mile at that time. So I just finished with the progression run. I think it went pretty well. I have no idea what my paces were. I don't think I timed it out real well because right as soon as I got into the progression run piece of it, I hit a bunch of hills. So trying to truck up the hill and maintain that pace of a 7:14 minute mile, I really wasn't sure how hard I had to work to do that. So I kind of stepped on the gas a little, but we'll see. You know, I'm curious to find out what the results are for the paces. So let's go check it out. Let's just take a look and see how I did do. I've already taken the opportunity to sync this with my phone, and I don't know if you're going to be able to see that very well because of the glare, but you know, I went to 40 minutes. That was the total length of the workout. I ran 4.69 miles. And then when I scroll over and take a look, my average pace overall, and that's with the, you know, the easy run as well as the progression, was an 8:34 minute mile. My best pace was 5:49, and I know exactly where that was. I was going downhill. I was sailing. So my average speed ended up being 7 miles an hour with a max speed of 10.3 miles an hour. Felt like I was going a whole lot faster than that. But my average heart rate, 161 beats per minute with a max heart rate of 182 beats per minute. I'm a little surprised at that. I actually thought my max heart rate was going to be over 200 because there were parts to it I was really kind of huffing and puffing when I was hitting some hills. My average run cadence was 191 steps per minute. I'm really happy with that. With a max cadence of 210. My elevation gain and loss, now this was a surprise to me because it says 79 feet for elevation gain and 75 feet for an elevation loss. So boy, those hills seemed like I had gone, you know, a long ways to get up the hill and coming down. The thing of it is I'm not sure that they were so tall. I mean, they were tall enough or high enough up, but they just seemed to go forever. It seemed like I was always running uphill or going downhill, whichever the case may be. So I'm going to scroll over and take a look at the lap times. Now I warmed up at a really easy pace today. It was 11:27 minute mile, so almost walking. But then I settled right in. Faster than what I had intended. I really was shooting for that 9:14 minute mile, you know, try to stay up around there. But first lap was 8:42 minute mile, and then an 8:55, and then 9:31. And I'll tell you what that 9:31 is. The reason that and that's still within the range of what I was, shooting for. But whenever I go into progression runs, I just think mentally right before I hit the progression piece of it, I kind of slow down and catch my breath. You know, so anyway, that just seems to be, I noticed that for pretty much all of the progression runs I've ever done, is that the lap right before I start it is always just a tad bit slower. But then for the progression run piece of it, it was 6:59. So, you know, and the surprising thing is when I hit the progression run, I was just starting to go uphill, a pretty steep one at that. So, you know, I think I had put the pedal to the metal. I wasn't really sure, you know, how hard I had to run to try to stay within that 7:14 minute mile pace I was shooting for. So I overshot it a little bit. And then it was a 7:22, and then I ended up with an 8:42, and then a tiny bit, and we're talking, you know, just a few seconds at a 7:23 as part of my cool down. Which kind of surprised me. I don't know if I was just picking up the pace because I saw the car or what. And then if I scroll over, we can just see, you know, graph, you know, looking at the graph. I always like to look at that. With my pace, you can obviously tell where the progression run piece picked up because, you know, I'm well above that line. You know, my heart rate, for the most part, it stayed pretty steady, you know, when I was in the slower pace, the 9:14 to 10:14 minute mile. And then you can see that it did bump up, but I'm just really surprised it didn't bump up more than that when I hit the progression run. Because again, you know, it felt kind of difficult for me to stay within that range, but part of that could be just going up the hill and so on when I first started out. My cadence was pretty steady. Not really a lot of fluctuation there. And then you can see the elevation gain and loss. You can see all the hills, you know, if you look at that green graph. So, like I said, it seemed like I was always running uphill or downhill. And then, you know, my heart rate zone, I was in zone 5 most of the time. You know, I'm fine with that for a progression run. You know, I'm not overly concerned with my heart rate right now. I'm really more concerned at this point for me to stay within my pace ranges or try to. I didn't do a terrific job at that today, but, you know, as we get closer, hopefully I will. One of the things that is a little bit concerning to me is just I'm going to be running a trail race, and these hills here, they were paved and it was somewhat difficult. I've got the same types of hills, only on more rustic trails. And, you know, I felt kind of like I was sailing along there for a while when especially when I was at, you know, just a, you know, 8:34 mile. I felt like I was moving out pretty decently on the road. So what that's going to feel like when I've got limbs and things zinging by my head, I don't know. I'm a little, guys, I'm a little concerned about that. So I'm going to do more trail running as part of this whole process, which is, you know, that's part of the reason why I'm not overly concerned with my heart rate, because of the hills and the trails and all that kind of good stuff that I'm going to be running. But because I'm going to be doing a trail race, I thought it might be a good idea to train as much as I can on trails. So, hey, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you have a fantastic day today. It's gorgeous here. I hope it's gorgeous where you are. As always, run tall, run strong, be kind to one another, and I'll see you on Wednesday.